record on this? Hey everyone, my name is Amanda Hunt,
And I'm Rachel Fryman.
and we are so excited to be here today to talk about how to collaborate and compete with Canva. You are in the midst of the Canva Winter Showcase 2024, and we have included the link to our presentation at the bottom. It'll also be at the end of the presentation. So if there are embedded links, and we also have a website that we're going to show you, you're going to be able to click on all of that if you go to this bit.ly. So my name is Amanda Hunt. Like I said, I go by the Next Gen Librarian on social media on all the platforms. I am a middle school 6 through 8 librarian in New Braunfels ISD, and that is in like South Central Texas. I am also our district's secondary lead librarian. And that's what I love about presenting with Rachel, because she is also a lead librarian. And I just love collaborating with her. And so I'm so excited for us to present this to you today. This is just my business card with some of the ambassadorships and educator badges that I have earned. I love educational technology, but Canva for sure has my heart. So I'm so excited to talk about this today.
And I'm Rachel Fryman. As Amanda said, I'm also like a district librarian. I'm technically in charge of all of our libraries K to 12, but currently I'm housed at the middle school. So that's been my major focus. I was inspired to create my own little business card based off of Amanda. So it's very similar looking. And I am also super excited that Amanda invited me to talk about Canva with you today.
Yes. I love your business card, by the way. So our theme is something that like Rachel and I are really passionate about. We love reading, first of all. Surprise. And then we love doing like different competitions with it. And she and I kind of started doing it like almost a year ago, like last March, making templates in Canva and sharing them on social media. But it's something that you can do with your staff, you can do with your students, you can do it on your Bookstagram or any platform that you use just to fosters a love of reading. And I love that it also incentivizes reading because you can tie prizes to it. What are some of the things that you do, Rachel, when you do these little fun challenges and bingo cards?
On social media, we do have our little incentives, but I think it's also about like just building that community too, sharing your reads. It helps motivate each other. I think that's my favorite part of it, the community. And then, of course, the incentives are always fun. At school, I try to do a little bit of incentive, but I really try to bring that community element there as well.
I think so too. When everyone's kind of talking about it, then you know that, it's happening. So like as we move into March, if you are doing like a March Madness thing, anything with reading like that, it gets excitement up, which is what we want. And I love doing the different monthly themes because it gets me out of my comfort zone. It'll like because Rachel loves like mysteries and thrillers just like I do, but she loves more cozy mysteries. And so I definitely have read more of those because of her influence, and that's not something I probably would have picked up on my own. So I love that like each month or each year, if you're doing year challenges, you can push yourself to read different things, different genres that you may not have read before. And also you can share that with your students, right? Because like I have a section, I have in my library story collections don't move at all, which is crazy to me because I feel like they're little novellas that like kids can that don't want to read like that whole book. They can pick and choose which stories they want to read. So I'm really going to try to push that this year as one of my monthly challenges to get kids going to that section a little bit more. Do you like the competitive part of it?
I do most of the time. Like for me, it's always a struggle. I do think it does push you out of your comfort zone reading wise, but also like the amount. Like you're a super reader. You read so much. And every time I'm watching these and like participating with you, I'm like, okay, I can read another book. Like Amanda's read like 5 books today. I can read one. So I mean, it pushes me to read more. It really does. But like you mentioned, it pushes you out of your genre. I also include the teachers a lot of times in my challenges for the students at school, and they'll pick up books from the school that they wouldn't otherwise pick up. And usually they're surprised at how much they like it. They're not anticipating enjoying like a middle grade book, but they usually do. And they usually then find something else they want to read. And again, going back to the community, then they're talking about the kids, or they're talking to the kids rather, about these books. And it's just lovely.
That's so true because like getting teachers involved, I'm not good at a book talk. I'm not gonna lie. Like that is not my wheelhouse. I like you said, I read a good amount. And so once it's been read, it goes in the back part of my brain. I could tell you a little bit, but I can't give you like a full on book talk about a whole lot of things that I have read. So I feel like this way is a great way to recommend if that is something you also struggle with. I have so many librarians that I'm envious of that do like book trailers and book videos and just on the spot recommendations. And I feel like this is a way to do that. Like, I know I loved it. You're going to love it too, because we're going to do this challenge together. Right. So I also think
Absolutely.
it gives you like reading options for someone
Yeah.
that struggles with what to read next. Like I am a mood reader 100%. Whatever I'm in the mood, if I'm not feeling, a scary horror book, I want something light and fluffy, but I don't know what. That's one of the things I loved about like the Valentine's one that I did last year was like romance tropes. Like then I could pick and choose which ones I was in the mood for.
And you're watching everybody else like what they're reading. So
Yes.
you're like, oh, that would be good for that one. Like, I'll try that. So yeah, it's
Yes.
wonderful.
I love doing those mood reader recommendations because again, so many
Yes.
people don't know what to read next, or they know they want a specific genre, but they want to get a good book in that genre. So they want some ideas, you
Yeah,
know? And I also think it
absolutely.
makes it fun. Like I mean, I could read and be solitary, which I love, by the way. I'm a total introvert, but I also love that, yeah, we built this community and we're talking about it and crossing it off. I'm such a checklist girl. So when I get to check off a box on
Yeah.
the bingo or the challenge card, I'm like, yes, I was productive today.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So I hope that everyone knows what bingo is. But if you don't, this is just like an example of like a bingo card that you can make. If you search bingo in Canva, you're going to get so many options, including the magic AI feature that if you're looking for a specific kind of bingo card or specific theme, it'll generate those ideas for you. And then you are in charge of this. So, however you want to set this up, whatever rules you want to make, whatever expectations you have. Obviously, we know what bingo looks like vertical, horizontal, or diagonal. But if you were trying to do four corners because you don't think maybe they could get five, or make sure that free space is actually like a free choice of what they could read. Um, Definitely make the rules for students or adults in social media however you want,
Yeah.
right?
It's nice to have that flexibility too, even giving your readers the flexibility. We did one last year where they got a choice. I think it was the holiday one. They could choose just to like add up their books and like kind of tally each one, or they could play it like on a game board. So I mean, I think it's nice to offer some options too, because people have different, competitive levels, and their ability to participate is different. So, and it keeps it
Absolutely.
interesting.
Absolutely. So some of the prizes that I offer in my library for different things, I have a loyalty stamp card that the idea I got from Martha Bongiorno. And it's just like we have a coffee place in our town that you drive through and you get so many stamps and then you get a free coffee. So I was like, oh, I'm totally doing that. But this is something that you could use to tie to this challenge, a book challenge, a reading challenge, the March Madness, anything that if even if you participate, you have a chance to win something. So I have this spinny wheel, which who doesn't love a good spinny wheel, that they can win things. We have a book vending machine. They could win a sticker, a scented bookmark, candy, pocket pencil. They can make their own button. So it has lots of options for kids. And honestly, I don't really like if they didn't get one that they liked on the spin. I don't mind if they spin again. Like that's not the point. The point was that they were excited about reading. What have you done for adults before, Rachel?
With adults, it's usually like a gift card somewhere where they can buy books, or I'll ask them what book they want. I'll purchase them a book, and then usually just something kind of fun. I think we've done a candle before. We just did socks for somebody. So, I mean, it's just little treats, you know?
Yeah, bookish or like reward for reading books, you know? So
Yes.
it's so
And
yeah,
I'm with you on the candy. The kids will do just about anything for candy. So that always
true.
works. And they're always happy. Like, you know, when they're like, what's the reward? Candy, they're always
Candy.
excited. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You would have think we would have told them like an adult that we bought them a $50 gift card to
Yeah.
Barnes and Noble or something.
Candy's just as good.
Yeah. So Rachel made this fabulous website that has everything linked in it. And so we're going to kind of go through that a little bit. It has our main slide on it when you get there. The presentation is on here that we just went through if you wanted to look through it that way. And then every template that you see should have the template link from Canva on it. Now, if you don't, if for some reason we missed one, let us know because we for sure want to make sure that you have access to that. But like what we've created, you might want to tweak or change or obviously add your own social media handle or take that off or whatever. So we wanted to make sure they were template links, not public links. So if you're familiar with Canva, when you share, you want to give that template link so that they can edit it however they want to, so that you're not starting from scratch. That's my favorite part about a template link, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of these are very customizable. I mean, you could do so much with several of these. Like you said, that way you're not starting from scratch. It kind of gives you a springboard.
Absolutely. And then the first one is Rachel's because when we were doing our holiday idea, she wanted it to be more like a list and I wanted I wanted it to be a bingo card. So we were like, we'll just do both. So
It works. And then I made like a band bingo one just to kind of play around a little bit, something like an idea. I have a couple of blank ones in there, like I said, just to kind of generate some templates, some ideas. A lot of times when I need a new idea, I'll go back and look at what we've done and kind of, like I said, use that as a springboard.
absolutely. And you were telling me about the Read Harder challenge. What?
Yes, the Read Harder challenge is from Book Riot, and it's really a great challenge to do every year. There's 24 prompts to get you reading things more outside of your comfort zone and a little bit more diversely. I don't think there's 24 boxes in there because I couldn't get it to fit, but I just wanted it to look pretty. So mission accomplished.
That's great. I love taking Book Riot, Pop Sugar, they all do these reading challenges and then you can make your own template for that to make it look however you want, you know.
I like it
Um
to be a lot more visual, like with the little books in there than just like a checklist for sure.
exactly. And you'll see like as you can tell these are more like the rectangular boxes. That's great for an Instagram story size. Whereas like my holiday book bingo is more square, so you could use it for Instagram post, right? Because they're different sizes. And I love that Canva gives you that option to change them up because I had Rachel's and my bingo on the same project that I was working on. And I was like, well, I really want to be able to post it so I can pin it to my profile while we were doing this. And
Yeah.
so you can just go into the more option on Canva and you can change it to a story and it'll just reformat it for you so that you're not having to recreate it to fit the right sizes.
Yeah,
Thanks.
you can make it into like a poster or like an index card, something to share on socials. Like it's perfect for the sizing. It makes it so easy.
Yes, I love that Canva knows the sizes for all of these
Yes.
social media
That way you're not
platforms that
stopping
we're
to look
on.
it up every time you do it, you know? It's
Yes.
wonderful.
So this is one, this is actually when I started doing, when I got really into bingo, and doing and making templates like this last February. I was really feeling, I was in my romance era, and I'm a kind of always am, but I was like, I want to read a bunch of different tropes. And my friend Books with Brit is also a big romance reader. And so we started, we put this bingo form together of different tropes, and it could be, you know, middle grade. There are some good middle grade romances out there that are very appropriate for that age, and then it could be YA, it could be adult, and so we wanted to make sure also that we were reading diversely. So when you make a bingo card, you definitely want to think about all the different types of authors and types of characters that are in books. So you want to make sure, if you haven't included an underrepresented group like LGBTQI plus, or BIPOC, or, you know, disability, visible or invisible, we wanted to make sure we had all of those represented when we made it. And then it was obviously for the month of February, and we did have a prize at the end. So it was like, I think, $50 to a bookstore of your choice. So very easy for us to run together, very easy to keep track of. Rachel and I actually make a spreadsheet that we share between us. So when people tag us in their submissions, like in their stories or whatever, we make the tally marks in that spreadsheet so that we're keeping track of it. But it's very easy to do. You could just screenshot it and add them up at the end. Like, you have a lot of options on how you can keep track of how many bingos or how many boxes someone got done.
Yes.
And then we have March Murder Madness.
Yes.
I'm sure we'll probably do this again because we really loved reading a lot of murder a lot of
Yes.
mystery thrillers.
Yes.
Um, and so it just kind of, with the alliteration, went with March.
Yeah.
And so we just went through and found different types of like tropes in the mystery thriller suspense genre
Yeah.
and put these together. And it was our first collaboration with doing a reading bingo card last March, and I loved it. I thought
Yeah.
it was fun, a great way to knock some books off your TBR. If you're like, oh, I want to read more of this month, well, we got you. So it was great because then it forced me to start reading some cozies, and I definitely see the appeal. So again, like, I found a new genre, and I was able to kind of also do mood reader boards. If anyone was following along with us, they like, on the link in my bio, you could see all the different winter thrillers, you know, femme fatale, and Rachel did it too. So we were both sharing great like recommendations. And if you weren't in the mood to do it then save those recommendations for when you are building your collection or recommending titles to teachers or patrons in your library.
Well, and again, it was really fun to see everybody else posting their boards to see what they're reading. I found some new books just that way, and again, just the community of chatting about what we're reading and what we're planning to read, and it's so much fun. And
That's
it's again very adaptable. We planned these for social media, but you could easily adapt these to any library setting, even like a public library. You could have them very open ended to where like picture books, graphic novels, audiobooks, like all kinds of books would count. It doesn't have to just be, kind of a pigeonholed area.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that we really try because, you know, everyone is a reader. And whatever you choose to read and however you choose to read, we want to support that, and we don't want it to be very limiting. We want it to be very unlimited. You know, and just so, and basically that's what it is. It's exciting, getting reading to be excited, getting students excited, getting patrons excited, and just like reading more. Like, that's basically our ultimate goal. So any way you do it, make sure that you are lenient in your rules. And because I'll have people message me and be like, does this one count? Yes. Like, how, if you interpreted that to be a femme fatale book, then
Yes,
yes, it counts.
it counts. That's the answer always. It counts.
Always, always. And then this fall, we did one that I thought was really fun because it wasn't just centered around books, because we had been doing just book bingos up until then. but we wanted to do a challenge. In Texas, it was hot this summer. And like, I'm not exact, like, it was probably the hottest summer I've ever had in my life in the state. And so I was more than ready for fall. I'm always jealous of Rachel's weather in Ohio and how I wish it would come down here. So we were like, it's September 1, it's fall. Let's do a fall challenge.
And it was really fun. Like I think the challenges that incorporate things to do as well also, I don't know, just give you a little positive boost every day because you have something fun like you have to kind of work in, like have to. So
Right.
I don't know, it was just a lot of fun doing that one.
It
Really getting in the
was.
seasonal mood.
Yeah, and we called it the Burr Month Challenge because, we do September, October, November. In December, we started switching into our holiday feels and stuff like that. But we had it open for a long time so that this one was like a multi-month one that you didn't feel like, oh, I gotta hurry, gotta hurry. And it was just like exciting to see pictures of everyone's activities. Usually we just see the books that they read. So this
Yeah.
one was fun, and if you wanted to do something similar on your campus or, whatever, it could definitely be adaptable and changed.
Oh, for sure. The next one, the February reading log, is a perfect example of using Canva and adapting it. I literally just searched up some type of reading log, and I think the first one I found was set up a lot like this, but I think it had backpacks for like September. So I thought, well, this is a perfect idea. I wanted to give the kids an opportunity to work just at their reading. You don't have to read a certain book. You don't have to, quiz. You just have to record 20 minutes of reading every day. So I make these every month, with a goofy little picture that has to do with the month. So hearts for February. And then they earn points on our like reading competition just by completing this. So I do these every month. I share them out with all the teachers as well. Some of them can give credit for that as well. So
I
perfect way
love
to
it.
motivate them to read.
I love that because again, it's not anything specific or a certain type of book or format. It is legit just sitting reading for 20 minutes. I love it.
Just reading. Absolutely. And then I've got the Golden Girls readathon. We do a yearly challenge every year. And again, I like that visual setup. So we've got different challenges that people can read throughout the month. And again, it's great with community. Everybody's talking about what books they're going to pick and the way they interpret each thing. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, because I was like, I didn't know what Betty or Rose, like I didn't know what that was. And then she was like
Yes.
a character with Rose or anything to do with a rose. And so I was like, oh, I can totally find something like that to work. So that's a
It's
fun one. And
it's
it's my
fun to see
first
what
year.
people, yeah, it's fun to see how people interpret things too, because like somebody picked a book like that featured like a rose, like an actual flower. And it's like, oh, I didn't think about that, but yeah, that works.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to do that one. I think Rachel's done that one how many years? Like a couple of years,
Um, we've been doing the Golden Girls Readathon for a while, but I think the
right?
challenge, this is either the second or third year, maybe.
I'm excited. It's my first time. So we saw, or I saw these on social media several months ago. And Bookstagram is just like amazing. They're like a plethora of great ideas. And so I saw the Uno challenge, and then their Clue challenge came up shortly after that. And basically, you would give recommendations in these topics. And so if you wanted to do something like that, if you come up with one, please share it and then share that template link so people can share it out. I have an Apple TV in my library that just rotates different slides, and I put those on there, and the kids all know Uno. So they definitely were attracted to that particular slide, and they would come ask me, like, well, what's that about? And I just thought it was precious and wanted to include it as well.
And then we have the spring 30 and 3 challenge that came out of Jessica Brody's. She does 30 and 3 every summer. And one year I try to do that like each season. I try to get 30 books in. It's just kind of a fun little tracker. Again, building the community, sharing ideas. It gives you a chance to recommend things and just share your reading experience, make it a little bit more social.
Absolutely. And then, these are all just examples that we included. My friend Deb Zeman made a book bingo to fit in the March for an activity she was doing with students. This is a bookish bingo, a self care bingo, because we also want to promote that with our students. Just a reading one. icebreakers. I'm not a fan of icebreakers. However, if I can do it solo like this, and just write down my own people that I think I know that would do that, that'd be fine. But in this case, you need to like go and find, like, if you're in a group of people, you would go and find someone with long hair and get them to sign it, that kind of stuff, right?
I really like that template. So for me, I
Yes,
would be tempted to take that and make it a bookish bingo just with that template. Do you know what I mean? There's
yes.
a perfect space to write your book in there.
Exactly. I agree. Definitely more on that. A mindfulness challenge one. I love that. I love the spring vibes with it. You can share that with your teachers. 50 book reading. And so this one you would what? Color your spines the different
Yeah.
colors. I love
This
that.
would work well if anybody's doing a 40 book challenge in their library. I have mine a little formatted a little bit differently, but same idea of just tracking your reading.
For sure.
Inspiring them to read more.
Yeah, summer reading challenges are great. That's when real public library really takes off with their programs with teens and and our little children's. And then this one is just a different way to track it. You can do the stars, like if you want to share what how many stars you gave a book. I love that. Black History Month. This is one I got from Ali Lauer on social media, and it's more activity based, which I do love that you can make activities for that. Our friend Karina Kilantan Garza, Q the librarian, made this manga one. So if you have a lot of manga readers in your libraries, which a lot of us do, if you have a manga section, they're getting checked out. So this would be fun for them to do. Again, my friend Deb made a Luck of the Irish selfie one, and you could take this and adapt it with books as well. Um, International Literacy Day. This one I found, and this is obviously a little more elementary, but you could bring it up. 50 books. I found this one through my friend Mindy Garcia. She shared it from Emily the Book Nerd, and I was like, oh, that looks like fun too. This one I love. Owned Unread, right? Rachel and I are always like, I see her on Goodreads putting books on her like own it shelf, and I'm like, the amount of books. I don't know if you can see. Like, I've read some of them, y'all, some of them, but I want to use this one.
The librarian struggle.
Yes. My friend Allie, she does the A to Z reading challenge. I finished yesterday for
Oh,
2024. And
yay.
so I'm excited because last year I finished it in January too. And she was, and then I don't have to worry about it the rest of the year. But a lot of people don't
Oh,
do that.
yeah.
Um, 31 books in 30 days. I'm actually a part of an Instagram group that is like motivating each other to do this one. But it's through Let's Talk About Books, baby. And I am loving the conversations and the ideas because they're like, okay, who has a short book recommendation, a graphic novel, And so everyone's like really helping each other out.
Well, and the chance to celebrate. You can post like I got this book today. And you know what I mean? It's just the
Yes.
celebratory nature of it.
Yeah. So if you ever wanted to create like an Instagram group to do that, that would be awesome. Pop Sugar Reading Challenge, they do one every year, and this is my first year to do it. But and apparently I picked the wrong year because this one is incredibly difficult. Everyone that I've talked to is like, I don't know what they were thinking. This is out of control. So I'm trying to do mood reader board recommendations for each square because everyone is like, I'm not even doing it. And I'm like, no, play with because I wanted it's my first year, so I wanted to do that. Pause and read. It's another monthly one with a theme, kind of like the Golden Girls. But like this one, it's this month was read a book centered around food. So I was like, oh, done. I can do that. 24 books recommended by 24. You may have seen this one around the social medias December, January, with everyone recommending books to each other. And I love that. I love, love, love that because I want to know what you think is the best book and then see if you're right. But I
Absolutely.
love the idea of sharing ideas. Rachel always gives me good recommendations.
Absolutely. I threw this February reading one in just as an example of like a blank template you can use. They have those frames that make it really nice. You don't have to worry about resizing your picture. You just drag it and drop it in there and it sizes it perfectly. So I always love to do that on my own versions. And you can share that in template format for other people to use as well.
People always ask me how I make them so fast. I'm like, The frames. Are you not using the frames? Use the frames.
Yes.
They're amazing.
Yes.
Um,
Absolutely.
Read more queer. Obviously, that's something I try to do every year, as well as BIPOC representation. And then also, I made this one. Okay, so when I pitched this idea to Rachel for this session, she didn't know how obsessed I am right now with bingo challenges or different other challenges. But I am, and so for Black History Month, I had a librarian reach out to me and say, "Can you make one for that?" I was like, "I got you." Yes. So I
Absolutely.
I made this one, and I also think it's fun to create in Canva. They make it so easy. And so I made this one up, and then we are librarian Barbie, and so we definitely wanted to rep Barbie. And so for the last one, I made this one yesterday, that kind of all centered around the movie. And so anything you if you click on it, you can edit it however you want. But I was actually asking students yesterday, what else was in the movie? Like Mojo Dojo Casa House? Okay, then let's do read a book with house in the title.
Well,
Whatever.
that's a great example of how, like, once you have a template, like those are set up the exact same way, those last two you made. You can just, copy it and totally edit it to make it a different thing.
Absolutely. So we are out of time, and I just want to say thank you so much for participating with us. And if you have any questions or you need a template idea or anything like that, please reach out to us on social media. We'll be continuing to do our monthly challenges and giveaways and stuff. So be a part of our community. We love connecting with other readers.
Absolutely.
Presentations at the bottom. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you.